told you that there's a handbag you can buy for about 10 grand, walk out of the store, and expect to fetch 40 grand to 6 figures on the resale market. Today we're talking about the Hermes Kelly Bag. They're generally pretty nice looking bags made out of high quality material, but I think we can all agree that the pricing is a bit of an outlier, even in the luxury market. The value of the finished bag is so much higher than the sum of its parts, or at least it appears to be.
I've got to level with you. I don't plan on shopping at Hermes anytime soon, but I'm in a makerspace with a ton of tools at my disposal. So I want to try to recreate as exact a copy of a Kelly bag as I can, using all the tools I have at my disposal, and then I'm just gonna see how much it ends up costing, to just do it from scratch.
I don't have a Kelly bag to build my design off of, but luckily, this is a very well-documented design. There's a wealth of photos on the internet of every angle down to close-ups of the stitching holes. It's a fairly straightforward and simple bag, to be totally honest. So what is going on with the pricing? Well, let's go back to that. Skyrocketing prices on the resale market make a lot of sense, actually. The first and most simple reason being you can't just walk into an Hermes store and buy one. If you ask for a Kelly bag, you're most likely going to get turned away. You need it to be offered one, which requires a long-term relationship with one of their boutique's sales associates. In other words, buying lots and lots of other Hermes items over a span of time. They sell leather goods, but they also sell cups and blankets. They sell everything there. And being offered an option to purchase a Kelly represents a large time and money investment with the Hermes brand. Pretty sure they're also one of very few items that sales associates don't even earn a commission off of, so they need to like you. They also are expensive. They're $10,000. And that's a good deal for one, Or you can skip all that on the resale market, where you're going to get a lot more say over when you want to buy a bag, but also things like color choices, sizes, hardware colors. It's a steep premium, but there's not really a way around it if you really want a pink Kelly bag today. But here's the catch. I'm told that if Hermes ever gets wind that you resold something that they sold you, you're blacklisted. You do not get offered things ever again. And all this is technically hearsay. Hermes kind of keeps it mysterious on purpose, but that doesn't stop people from sharing their stories and things like that. Okay, I think I have a pattern, a first draft of one anyway. So I'm dropping some chipboard into my laser cutter, and we're going to see how this goes. So, economics aside, what is the allure of the Kelly bag? Well, it has quite the history. Hermes put together the design in the late 1800s as a saddle bag. It wasn't called the Kelly until decades later when Grace Kelly was photographed shielding her pregnancy bump from paparazzi cameras using one of these bags. The photo ran in Life magazine, and from what I can gather in pop culture, it was known as the Kelly bag from that point forward. It wasn't until 1977 that Hermes officially changed the name. It comes in so many colors and leather types and hardware types and sizes at this point. Basically, no two are the same. They're each handmade, unique works of art, which I think hikes up the price on that resale market in a major way, especially for unique colors, textures, and things like that. I wonder how a cardboard one would fare if it was handcrafted by an actual Hermes artisan. Definitely more than mine. So, full disclosure, this took a lot more drafts of the pattern than I'm going to be showing here, but I started doing the patterns out of paper towels as well, or shop towels rather, because then I could make sure my stitching holes were lined up instead of hot gluing together, because the stitching ultimately is what's going to hold it together, so that needs to work out. But this is the final draft. This is it. This is the Kelly pattern by me, so probably not really, but you know what I mean. There is one change I want to make though between this and the final version. Kind of risky, but I'm feeling good about it. I'm going to make the front, bottom, and back all one piece. I think it's going to make for a better construction. Okay, so I looked up how to do this on the internet. So if this is wildly wrong, that's me prefacing it. But I want to get a liner on the backside of the leather to be the interior of the bag. I have some leftover upholstery material that feels nice and I think kind of looks cool with the pink embossed croc. And I also want to leave half of it unlined too for some of the details. So I'm putting down spray glue in a very, very generous coating on one half of the croc. This was stressful. I didn't want to mess it up so bad. And then because this is all going in the laser cutter, I wanted to be sure to put masking down over the fabric because I can't really clean the fabric after. I ended up cutting my final pattern out of paper towels to use as templates, and that was really helpful because I only have enough to do one bag and I just need to make sure every cut goes perfectly and I don't misalign anything. Not ideal. I think I just need to go on the record saying the test cut did not do that. Look, the test cut super crisp edge. So, you know, yeah, see? That's what the test cut did. It's fine, whatever. But that side slays though. On the subject of craftsmanship, Hermes bags are all worked on by Hermes artisans. It's very selective and the training is rigorous. Before you're ever allowed to, make a Kelly bag in the first place, let alone work on like exotic leathers and stuff, kind of like pink croc would be considered. I was able to find this hardware for sale online. Someone else made it, not me. And so I'm just skipping that part and I'm just gonna do the best I can. Building this one side at a time and going slowly so I get all the details right. I laser cut each piece and then put the edge coat on right away and let that sit overnight. One thing about this edge coat, it dried darker than it went on, which was a pleasant surprise, but it was peeling on me a little bit, which wasn't ideal. I've used this brand before though and really loved it. So I wasn't sure if this was just a pink specific issue because it's the first time I've ever used it in pink, or if it was just this brand plus this leather combo. I don't really know, but it's just something I wanted to mention. You know what, honestly, to be honest at this point, just like buy the bag. Like 40 grand sounds like a steal. I'm not quitting. Just get it right. I'm gonna do it. I just don't feel like doing it. The labor cost of the assembly of the bag feels like an important cost to be factoring in because the stitching time on this thing is substantial. I traced actual Kelly bag stitching and so the size and everything's correct. And these are tiny little stitches through thick leather. So supposedly a Kelly bag has 2,600 stitches and takes a trained artisan 25 hours to make from start to finish by hand, which sounded pretty reasonable when I first heard it because you think like a work day is about 8 hours. So that's just over 3 work days for an artisan to be making a bag. Now that I've done this, that sounds so incredibly fast. I spent full days doing nothing but stitching, and I don't think I could have finished it in 3 days with my laser cut holes that are kind of cheating in the first place. So minimum wage where I live is $15 an hour. I'm gonna say, I think it might have taken me like more than this, but in the name of conservative estimates, I'm gonna say it took me 40 hours over the span of a few months. The last thing to get on there is the handle, which I wasn't really sure how I was going to go about, but I just went for it, you know? Oh, also, I want to fully acknowledge that I'm not using the right thread for this. I chose to work with embroidery floss just because I had it. And actually, I've used it on handbags before, and it weathers so well. I swear, it's so durable. But yes, I know that this is not the right thing to use, but it's what I used. And I went non-conventional on the handle too. I wasn't sure how to make it stiff. So what I ended up doing is cutting up a bungee cord because I thought it was the right thickness. And then I'm sealing the edges of this with a match so that it melts in place. And I'm going to sew this into my handle design. I thought this might be a bad idea, but I thought it worked great. It was like the perfect kind of purse-like stiffness and fit really snugly. So I stitched this whole thing up, which took like a day of stitching naturally, and then went around my bag to get the finishing stitches and touches on it. Also, the inside of this bag is wild looking. I decided after the lining material got all smudged in the laser to just lean into that, you know, because it's not a Kelly bag at the end of the day. Now is it? I think it's cute! Okay, admittedly, there's a couple little spots where, like, it's not perfect, like the handle, but it's okay, because there's another thing. Twilly scarves are commonly wrapped around the handles of these high-value Hermes bags to be just fun, but also it protects the investment. And the really key thing here is that even if I did perfectly replicate an Hermes Kelly bag, which I didn't, my bag is not going to appreciate. It's not an investment. It doesn't have the full weight of the luxury label and the history of that label behind it. I do think it's cute though. I'm very emotionally attached to my bag at this point. And I don't know, I feel like if I was walking past someone quickly, like you probably wouldn't notice that it wasn't one, especially with the twilly on it. But I don't know, if this was sitting next to an actual Kelly bag, I think it would be pretty darn obvious that mine was the counterfeit. If you want a Kelly bag, there's only one Kelly bag and you gotta go get it from Hermes or a reseller. And will it hold things and stuff just as effectively as a $30 bag from TJ Maxx? Absolutely it will. But honestly, if you acquire one of these things, I am happy for you. Carry it well, you know? Okay, so let's break down how much my Makerspace version cost. So I did cut this on the most expensive laser cutter that I have access to, but that line item, I guess, has some flexibility, but there is a reason for it. It does handle leather really well. So there you have it. I guess I should have just bought the bag. There were definitely some things in this price range.